Normally, I would start a video off by saying, hi, this is Brad with Copper Creek Cuts, a lawn care company in Northeast Florida. But as you can tell, there's no mowers in the garage. The Ventrac is in the driveway. That'll be another video. I am shutting down Copper Creek Cuts Lawn Care, and in this video I'm going to explain to you why I made that decision and what's next for the channel. I started Copper Creek Cuts in 2017 as a stay-at-home dad that wanted to get out of the house and contribute a little bit to the finances because my wife was working full-time and supporting the family. The YouTube channel came just a few months after starting the business, and I had very early success mowing tall grass. Back at that time, in the middle of 2017, there were quite a few lawn care channels. There were a lot less than today, but there were still a few dozen maybe. Most of them focused on vlog style content, like day in the life, this is what it's like running your own business. And those got good views, but what I had seen as I was researching lawn care companies in 2016, before I was starting mine, the videos that had the most views were ones where people had filmed themselves mowing tall grass, like ridiculously tall grass. And while there were a few channels that uploaded videos like that, there wasn't really a channel that their whole shtick was, I mow tall grass, I mow crazy yards. So that put a little seed that, hey, maybe there's something to this YouTube thing, mowing tall grass. The very first time I was able to get a tall grass yard, I mowed it, and it blew up. So for several years, I was primarily the channel on YouTube that was a tall grass mowing channel. I wasn't the first one to post tall grass mowing videos, but I was one of the only ones that was my thing. I had several years of ridiculously good financial gain from YouTube. Most of that money has been saved or put towards our house payment. I would say probably only 10% of it actually got spent on stuff. I think I did buy my work truck, the Chevy 2500, with money from YouTube. But all that to say, that money was viewed mainly as extra that should not be wasted, and it should be saved and invested to set us up down the road. And I'm glad I did that, because as my videos continued to be popular over the years, more folks started adopting that style. But what they did was they changed it. So it was no longer a lawn care business mowing grass. It was, I'm just a random guy, and here's this random tall lawn I found. Let's go ahead and cut it. Then from there it went to, let's look at the person behind the yard. It's a elderly woman who's raising her grandchildren and don't have any money to get it done, so we're going to do it for free. It's a disabled veteran that served in the Gulf War, and we're going to do it for free. The new formula was you had to show the people behind that yard. And so in 2022, I believe, I started to experience a downturn in views simply because I refused to make that style of video. And I did a few experiments where I titled it in the way that, most people who were having success at that time did. At the end of the day, I just didn't like the way it made me feel. When you consider how much money those videos can make if they get millions of views, the fact that you're doing that primarily off of the issue somebody is going through never sat right with me. The tall grass videos as they stand now, usually you've got to incorporate some kind of drama. So you've got people who are getting confronted by neighbors, you've got people who are finding guns or dead bodies, or you're having people pull guns on the person mowing the lawn. And it's almost comical now, but when I started, it was enough to say, I've got a business, here's the job. You can't do that now with tall grass mowing and get any views. It's also just much more difficult for me to run into those yards anymore. Over those 7 years, there are a couple of local Facebook groups, one in particular that's gotten very popular. I think I joined it early on when it had maybe 1,000 people, and now it's got $15,000. But it is a very easy resource for somebody to say, hey, who can I get to mow my lawn today? And within a few minutes, they'll get 30 or 40 responses from people saying, hey, use this guy, or businesses saying, hey, I'll do it, I'm the cheapest. So whereas 7 years ago, I might have gotten quite a few calls and I could weed through the ones that, oh, this is going to make a great video. That doesn't happen anymore. I very rarely get those tall grass mowing requests. So that's why it makes sense to wind down Copper Creek Cuts on the YouTube side. So then looking at the fact that, at this point my wife has quit her job. She quit, I think, back in 2021 before our decline started happening, which I'm glad she did, because if we waited and views started dropping, we might have been too scared and said, oh no, you can't quit work now. And our whole family's life is tremendously better because, we're home together much of the day now. We wouldn't have those benefits if she was back at work, but that's a side point. So if YouTube went away tomorrow and I had to support our family just on income I got from mowing, in 2024, I was running one full day and mowing anywhere from 17 to 20 yards in that day. That was a 10 to 12 hour day with some prep work on the day before to get the trailer ready. And as a quick note, that doesn't include any time that is needed for billing or anything, because I use Jobber software and all that is done automatically. So when I finish a mowing job, I tap one button, I immediately get paid. It runs a card on file, it sends a receipt automatically. If I didn't have Jobber software to help me with that 10 to 12 hour day would have an extra 30 or 40 minutes of bookkeeping on the computer at the end of the day that I'd have to do to get paid. That Jobber software is something I mention a lot because it saves me so much time and it makes me money. If you're ever interested, any of the times we talk about Jobber, there's always a link in the description that you can use for a free trial with a discount after. They even have a free plan now. The other thing to make clear, this is a home service software that you can use for whatever you do. Plumbing, HVAC, electrical, painting, construction, land management. There's hundreds of different kinds of businesses that use Jobber. So if you've been looking for a software or thinking about trying one out, feel free to use that link, get a free trial, try out the free plan, whatever works best for you. I think it's going to make you pretty happy. And what I found is that July, August, September, it was definitely a 12-hour day, because then I'd have to take a full hour lunch to cool down and also let my batteries cool down. They would get too hot around lunchtime. They couldn't get rid of the heat, which meant they couldn't charge. So I'd have to go sit, in the Winn-Dixie parking lot for a half hour with the AC on full blast. I would always drink plenty of water, but sometimes the next day I would have a headache, which I would guess is from, some type of heat exhaustion. So that was my maintenance work. I had shoved it all into one super long day just because it didn't really make sense to break it into two small ones. Thinking of adding a second or third or fourth day of that was enough to make me say, this is going to be terrible. And so when the trash thing presented itself, I kind of jumped on it. And now it's doing fairly well. It's continuing to grow and show promise. So at this point in the year, I'm either going to need to commit to another year of mowing lawns because I don't want to drop somebody June, July, August. Then they're not going to be able to find someone to mow their property. Or I need to cut bait now, which is what I did. I sent a message a week or two ago to my clients and said, hey, you may not know I started a trash pickup business. We're going to focus on that full time. Since then, I've sold my green Bobcat mower. I've sold my red Toro mower. Another consideration in quitting Copper Creek Cuts now, shutting it down now, is I had my website coming due. That was going to be $700 or $800 for another 3 years at coppercreekcuts.com. I had my general liability insurance for the year coming due in March. That was going to be $800. I have my inland marine policy on the Ventrac. That was going to be $600 or $700. That was renewing in March. And so if I did want to mow for any more time, March or April or May, it was going to cost, $2,000-$3,000 just in renewing things that I needed to do that work. And that didn't make sense to me either. So a lot of the reasons that I made that decision just boiled down to the finances. Working in the trash business, it's going to be much easier to make the money we need to support the family. It's going to be much less labor intensive to make the money we need to support the family compared to what I was doing mowing lawns. Additionally, I get to work with my wife all day long in the trash truck. That is priceless to me. I have found that I just absolutely love that. But even if that weren't the case, the physical part of it is a real big motivator, especially, looking forward 10, 15 years as I get into my 40s and 50s. Mowing lawns just one day a week. It's difficult work too. And I don't think I wanted to grow that business enough to get a helper. I don't want to deal with the headaches that come from employees and trying to find help. Every single person that I've ever talked to that has owned a business, and I ask them, what's the biggest issue you run into? It's always the help, getting the employees, getting the workers to do the work. I would much rather keep the business smaller, make less money, and not have to deal with any of those issues. So looking forward, there is no more Copper Creek Cuts. You may have seen that the branding has all changed over to Baker County Trash Pickup. So I completely get if at this point you want to unsubscribe from the channel and you're not interested in following along, because there are not going to be any more tall grass mowing videos. I doubt there's going to be any pressure washing videos, like the ones you may have seen where it's driveways. We've got the Alcoa hot water pressure washer that we use to clean the truck, but probably not going to be out doing dirty driveways or patios or things like that. One of the other things I really like about the trash business versus the lawn care business is what you need to get it done. A truck and trailer and trash cans, or a garbage truck and trash cans. With lawn care, I needed a trailer, a mower that fit through tiny gates, a bigger mower, a string trimmer, the string that goes with it, an edger, the blades that go with it, hedge trimmer sharpening tools, hedge trimmer lubricant, hand tools, rakes, shovels, trash cans, trash bags, something to sharpen mower blades with, tools to remove the mower blades, gas cans, gas, two-stroke mix, chainsaws, pole saws, hedge trimmers on shafts, bar oil, bars, chains for the chainsaw, hand tools to fix everything. There's just so many little pieces to do the job of lawn care that you need, and to keep track of, and to store, and to take up space, that getting into trash and saying, man, all I need is this garbage truck and the trash cans live at people's houses. That's all there is to it. You just show up, tip the can, make $9 and leave. It's a minute of work for about $9 of revenue. That makes me like trash a lot more than lawn care, and makes me want to continue mowing lawns not at all. I worded that strangely, but I think you understand. And that last comment about the revenue is another reason why I like the trash a lot more. If I wanted to add one more mowing customer at an average of $45 a cut and 36 visits a year, that's about $1,620 of revenue. At $36 a month, a trash pickup customer is only making $432 a year. So what? You need 3.5 trash customers to make the same amount of money as one mowing customer. The thing to think about, though, is those 36 visits for mowing, if they take an average of 30 minutes apiece, that's 1,080 minutes that I'm on that person's property. For me to service somebody's trash can, I'm there less than a minute. So if you need 3.5 trash customers to make up one mowing customers, well, that's only 3.5 minutes a week. Times 52 weeks in a year, that's 182 minutes. So I can make the same amount of money mowing one person's lawn for about 1,000 minutes a year, or servicing 3.5 trash customers at 182 minutes a year. Which means that in one day, I will be able to make much more money picking up garbage than I would ever be able to make mowing lawns. And it'll be easier physically. It'll be more enjoyable because a lot of the time I'll be sitting in an air-conditioned truck as we're driving around places. There are some neighborhoods where I can now ride on the back of the truck. And I get to be with my wife all day long versus by myself. All those considerations together make it obvious to me that it doesn't make sense to continue mowing anymore. And Copper Creek Cuts, I love it because it got me to where I am today, but it served its purpose. As the trash business continues to grow, I'm going to continue giving you business updates, which a lot of you folks like. If there's ever anything specific you want to see, please let me know down in the comments. And if you are somebody who you were a viewer of Copper Creek Cuts and will not be a viewer of Baker County Trash Pickup, I understand and I appreciate all the views and the time that you spent on the channel over the years. But as always, thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.